Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Never Seen It. My name is Trent. I'm sitting here with Betsy.
Hey, everybody.
It is number 10 of 10, Betsy. We're finally to the end of Oscar season. What a season, what a season. Today, we're going to cover the zone of interest. Betsy, this being the final one, this has been eluding us basically this entire season. We finally have access to it.
It's like an international film that is not in English, doesn't play to a wide variety of people where we live.
And maybe not a lot of desire to go and watch a movie like this. So
I know,
why don't you
right?
tell the people what this movie is about?
So this is a movie that is set in World War II, and it is set in a house that is adjacent to a concentration camp. So I don't know.
Concentration camp.
Yeah, I think it's Auschwitz.
It is Auschwitz.
This is our second appearance by Sandra Hüller in one of two movies. In this one, she is actually speaking her native language because this movie is in German. And I was definitely confusing this one and Anatomy of a Fall for obvious reasons. This is the one that is not from the country you think it is.
Oh,
because
okay.
this one is the international feature submitted by the United Kingdom.
All right.
So that's where I was getting confused. I knew it was one of these two, but it's this one.
Correction from a previous episode.
I'm not perfect. I can't keep all these facts straight. But it takes place in this house, and I guess it's just kind of the juxtaposition of the weird life these people live with all of the horror going on literally over the fence from their yard.
Yeah, and when they're depicting this film in like poster form and like promotion form, they try to depict this as, okay, in the foreground is like a normal family. It's a garden, it's a house, it's a yard. But in the background, there's fucking razor wire and like smoke coming out of somewhere. It's all kind of in the background. And that's what this movie is really about. It is about a family. So I guess the husband of the family like runs the place. He runs Auschwitz, and his family lives in this compound outside of the walls.
And I don't know exactly what the story is beyond that. I don't know if this is entirely in German or mostly in German.
I think mostly,
or
at
partially
least.
in English. But I know it is not an English language film. I have also heard that the sound is phenomenal.
Okay.
That the sound editing in this movie makes or breaks it, and in this scenario, it makes it.
So on that happy note, I think we're going to go and watch The Zone of Interest. We'll be right back. And we are back. Betsy, I don't think I need to ask you how you're feeling after that movie. But what did you think about it?
Well, we saved the artiest art house movie for the last one.
Yeah.
So this is definitely an interesting movie, but it's also one of those things where it kind of feels like, you know, when you go to a museum and there is a movie showing in one of the galleries and it's just kind of on repeat and it's supposed to just make you sit and observe and think. That's what this entire movie feels like.
Kinda.
It's like
where you hire actors to play people from back in the day, but it's kind of just it's an art piece.
It's an
more
art
than
piece.
anything else, but it's meant to inform.
Yeah, you're just meant to sit and observe and listen. Like so much of this movie is just listening. It is not about the plot. It is not about the dialogue. It is simply what is going on in the foreground and what can you hear in the background.
Yeah. The foreground is masking what is going on in the background.
But I could see this literally just playing in a museum on a loop. It's that kind of a movie. And you mentioned it in the break. We have covered a Jonathan Glazer movie before, and I had forgotten this until you just said it. We also did Under the Skin last year, and this is now that I have that information, thematically very similar. It's a
Yeah.
lot of long, quiet, observational moments.
And it's also moments in that movie where he just cuts away to other elements that these characters are doing. And in this movie, there are cutaways to things that are just not really related at all, but it's meant to evoke emotion.
Yeah, the whole movie is meant to make you just think and reflect. And I didn't dislike it, but because it is this kind of a movie
Yeah.
and it's also in German, I'm having to do so many things simultaneously that I think this is one I would have to watch a second time to really appreciate the degree to which he is designing this movie.
Yeah, I imagine every shot here is very well constructed, but again, like when we watched Anatomy of a Fall, half of the movie I'm looking at the subtitles, and the other half I'm trying to like dart my eyes up so I can see what's going on the screen.
Yeah, it's a struggle when you are doing all of these things at once. Like
Yeah.
with Anatomy of a Fall, I could at least follow because there was a lot of it was
It
not
was something familiar.
right, it's more familiar. This is so subtle. And like the first part of the movie, literally, I had a little snack when we were watching the beginning of this movie. And I found myself, I stopped eating because I was listening so intently.
Like, what am I missing something? Is something broken with the video?
No, it wasn't even that. It was, I didn't want to miss a second because
Yeah.
every sound in the background is relevant and important. You are hearing gunfire, you are hearing screaming, you are hearing airplanes and explosions and just a cacophony.
There's
But
people being beaten and whipped,
Yeah.
and just suffering.
but depending on how close you are to the dividing wall, it would get louder. If you were in the house, it would be very muffled, but you could always hear it. So there is a constant hum of noises happening in the
Sure.
background, and it's all important.
Just had the thought while you were talking there. Do you think there's any significance to, okay, they got a baby here. The baby is constantly crying. Do you think there's any significance of the baby being in a room so far away from the parents that they can't hear it? There's a moment here at night where the baby is just screaming terribly in this other room with this other attendant who is drinking herself into a stupor and not doing anything about the baby, but because the parents can't hear, they're not doing anything about it either.
It's not even that they can't hear, it's kind of that they won't hear. I
Yeah.
think it's literally just saying they are so accustomed to that noise and they don't react to shit. The only
Yeah.
people who react, the only, I guess, entities that react, because it's the baby who is a baby and is not accustomed to anything, let alone this constant hum of noise. The mother, when she shows up, she actually is reacting, and the dog. Those
Yeah.
are the three individuals in this movie that have any reaction whatsoever. If there is like gunfire and it's just like sporadic pop, pop, pop,
Yeah.
those three react to it. But
It's-
nobody else does. They are just completely numb to it at this point.
It's the thing about, a frog and boiling water and shit like that. If you're just around it all the time, like if you work, I mean, not to be weird about this, but if you work in a daycare, yeah, you're going to be used to crying babies all the time. If you work in a gun range, you're used to gunfire all the time. So you're just used to it. So I can get that, but it is the deliberate nature of putting the baby as far away from you as possible. And it's the same thing, like pushing away all of the unpleasant things that you don't necessarily want to think about.
That's the stuff in this movie. Like I said, it's like watching an art piece in a museum. Like you can see what the message is here.
Yeah,
It's not
and-
subtle.
Yeah, and we have been to the Holocaust Museum in DC, and there are basically things like this up on screens the entire way. And it's stories from people who were there. It is stories from historians and whatever else. So I can see what you're saying about, yeah, you could just have this kind of playing and maybe with some commentary over the top, like, oh yeah, this is just what the cacophony was throughout the day. And you also had the commandants just living their lives right outside the walls.
And every moment is important. Like when he is coming into the house and he takes off his boots, and all the other guys are like, oh, should we take off our shoes? And he says, no. And then we immediately see the kid come grab the boots and he's washing off blood.
Yeah.
Like it's shit like that through this
There's a
whole
lot of
fucking movie.
very subtle things that he is showing you, but he's not calling attention to it. You have to realize what it is that he is showing you here, and then it just kind of comes over you. Like, I would say about 3/4 of this movie, I just had kind of a disgusted look on my face, and I couldn't do anything about it. It would not go away.
And there was a moment where it took you just a second to realize that this mundane thing that they're doing is actually really horrific. So at the beginning, somebody comes in with a bag of clothes and she puts it on the table and tells all her staff, oh, everyone pick one. And then she takes this bag with a fur coat and she's just trying it on. I was like, oh, fuck me. That's the shit from the prisoners that they have just confiscated. And this is the good stuff. So you get the good stuff. Anything else we just kind of throw away. And then she like takes out a lipstick that was in the pocket and starts trying it on. And meanwhile, in the background, some guy is being beaten.
Right.
Like you hear the sound of someone being beaten while she's seeing if that color works for her. And like they're out on the water and he's fishing and it's so peaceful and it's summertime and the children are happy. And then just in the background, you see the water start to get darker. And I'm like, oh shit,
Like
Trent,
murkier and
Trent,
yeah.
look at that. And then the guy picks up a fucking jawbone or something out of the water.
Yeah, a human bone.
Yeah, and he's like, kids, get out of the water, get out of the water. And then they all have to take this deep scrubbing bath, and he's like blowing ash out of his nose.
Yeah, he blows ash out of his nostril, and it is about the most disgusting thing ever.
Later in the movie, somebody goes outside to take the wash off the line because the winds have changed. And you were like, is that snow? And I said, Trent, that is not snow.
Yeah.
This is the farthest thing from snow. And it's like this just extra second that your brain has to process that what you are watching is not innocent or nice or subtle. It is dark and disturbing. And the way all of these people who actually lived in this part of Poland, they lived around Auschwitz. It was a part of their lives and they just dealt with it. And there are people represented in this movie who tried to do something to help. But even that stuff, he does it in such an artistic way that you have to kind of see it a few times to follow it and to understand. There's all these cutscenes of this girl. It is completely different the way it's filmed. You're like, wait, is this like animated? Is this black and white? What is this?
It's almost as if they took the film and they did the invert command in
negative.
Photoshop, or like it's like the negative. But no, this is actually a thermal vision camera that is capturing, the heat coming off of a body and coming off of this this food that this girl is leaving for the, just call it slaves, all the slave laborers who are out there working the day away, and she's leaving them food because they're starving.
But she's doing it at night.
Yeah.
And once you read into this, it makes so much sense. They can't light it because she's doing it in a clandestine way to try to help. She's trying to leave the food where people will find it.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any kind of light in this area, at least nothing that isn't just, moonlight or starlight.
Which is not going to pick up on a camera when you're filming it.
No.
So they use a thermal camera to catch her movements, but it's just this hard cut where you're just like in a house and it's totally normal. And then it's a girl in thermal image distributing fruit.
The husband is reading a nursery rhyme to the kid who can't sleep. And there's this weird thing about the kid is just almost sleepwalking. I don't really know what he's trying to say with that.
Is it that the kid maybe is observing what is going on and is acting that out in her dreams, like
I don't
subconsciously
know.
dealing with it. Because even the kids do not react to any of the shit in this movie.
No, there's a scene where a boy is playing in his room, playing dice or something, and he can hear guards outside yelling at a prisoner saying, "This person did this. Well, go drown him in the lake." And the kid just says, to himself, well, I guess he was not going to do that again.
Don't do it again.
Don't do that again. Jesus.
The kids are playing with teeth. Like
Gold
they've
teeth.
taken the gold teeth from these people as they're coming in, and they're giving them to the kids to play with. Like, it is deeply fucked up.
Yeah.
The woman, the wife, she's walking around showing her mom the garden. Look at the beautiful gardens. This was all just a field when we moved here.
Right.
And so I worked very hard and we put in this greenhouse. Is that a pool? It is a pool.
And by the time you come here next time, all of these vines and whatever else are going to overgrow so that we're not going to be able to see the camp.
Oh, is that the wall adjoining the camp? Yes. We put vines so it'll block some of that. Ugh. And I know that's the reaction we're supposed to be having.
Yeah.
But I also was having kind of a disturbing thought while I was watching this. The fact that, we're 80 years removed from the events of this movie. Okay. Most of the people who were alive during it are very, very old. And the number of people on planet Earth who are learning it secondhand or are forgetting about it. Like, this is clearly a metaphor and a lesson to not forget what happened here. Because, like, the title card alone, the zone of interest lingers and then it fades very, very slowly to black.
You get 4 minutes of the start of this movie of nothing, darkness.
But there are people on this planet who are very, very young that have not learned yet about World War II, about Auschwitz, about everything that was happening in the most horrific ways possible.
And this movie isn't supposed to be doing that. This movie is not doing that.
But my point is, you could watch this movie, and if you have no context for any of that, it is just a German family living their lives.
Yeah, take the audio out of it, and this is just a guy going to work every day.
Yep.
And his wife taking care of the kids.
The movie starts with a beautiful spring picnic, and they're swimming and playing games and berry picking.
And then it's the father's birthday, and they have a surprise for him. Hey, we got you a boat. We're going to go out on the canoe, and we're going to have a grand old time as a family.
And they have friends over, and they sign the guest book, and it's
all of his coworkers come to his party.
Yeah, it's just this great, wonderful time. And there's these subtle things in the background, like the fact that they have lined up the roof of the greenhouse exactly at the level the smoke from the trains comes up.
Yeah.
And so the train is going past and you can't help but notice it. Yeah, you could watch this movie if you had no context whatsoever and you would feel incredibly different about it. But because we are educated people and thank God we know this history, it is a deeply disturbing movie.
And they do it without really going deep into what is really happening. The only thing that you get is the subtle audio cues happening in the background. And when they choose to subtitle those moments, it's very few and far between. You don't see anything. You do not see one prisoner whatsoever in this movie. You don't need to.
It's also the midsummer thing where it's bright and sunny and
Sure.
beautiful and everyone's so happy, but it's all hiding the ugly underbelly. So let me ask you a question about the mom. She comes to visit and we see her a few times kind of coughing. So
Yeah.
If you were living next to a crematorium that is functioning basically 24/7, that air would be awful.
And they keep on building them.
And they keep building them and they keep bringing people in and you are just living here breathing this air. So first of all, that's terrible. Secondly, she wakes up in the middle of the night and looks out the window because the crematorium is like blasting flames into the air and it's very bright.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just fucks off. She just leaves. She Irish goodbyes, gets up early in the morning, goes. And we do not know why. Do you have an interpretation of what that's about?
Honestly, I can't really give any other explanation other than she's just kind of sick of dealing with this. And, I don't think that she has any kind of objections to what's happening here because clearly she's going along with it. She's telling stories about, oh, I wonder if Mrs. Old, what's her face is in there. And
I wanted her curtains.
She tells this story about curtains and the woman that she's talking about outbid her for the curtains. And I really wanted those curtains. So that means that maybe she deserves to be in there for that. What the actual fuck, lady?
No, I think it was a little different. So she used to work for a woman who got taken to the camp and they auctioned off all of her shit. And her mom, this woman who's telling the story, and some other random woman who lived across the street were having a bidding war about the curtains. So it's even worse than that, really.
Jesus.
And again, so blasé, like, oh, I wonder if Mrs. So-and-so is there. And I just really wanted those curtains, damn it. And I didn't get them. And then they move on from that fact.
It is the casual nature of just the fact that this facility exists and everybody just being okay with it.
But that's what I'm trying to get at with the mom, because she leaves very abruptly. She left a note, and then
we don't get to see the note.
We don't get to see the note. She throws it in the fire, and then she immediately tells the girl who works in the house, "Did you set that out to spite me?" Indicating that what was in the note upset her and she's taking it out on the staff.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, does her mom have some kind of moral compass?
No.
That we don't know about?
Absolutely not, because when she's talking to her daughter, like out at the garden, she's saying, yeah, you've got yourself a really good setup here, and I'm proud of you, daughter of mine.
Well, that's
she
what
does.
I get it. I'm just trying to figure out why she left. Because they don't explain anything in this movie.
I don't know. I would say it's moreover that maybe there's some kind of thing in their past where they don't really talk to each other all that much. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of love there, but I don't want to keep on talking about that because I don't really think that matters.
Well, it clearly matters because it was included in the movie. I just wanted to know if you had a personal interpretation.
Honestly, I think she just was sick of having to deal with the ash in the air and the lit up sky every night.
This place is gross. I'm leaving. That kind of an attitude.
Kind of.
Yeah.
The screaming baby every night, and you could list off a number of different things of why a person would leave like that, but she did leave a note. So that's at least something.
She did leave a note. Wasn't that nice of her?
You could just say all of these people are just terrible and leave it at that. But I did want to go back to what we were talking about with the mother getting the big fur coat.
Oh, yeah, at the beginning?
Yeah. After that, she's talking with some other ladies in the, whatever you want to call it, the dining room area.
The parlor, the kitchen.
Parlor.
They're having tea.
They're having tea or coffee or whatever it is. They're talking about where she gets this coat or the jacket or whatever. And they say, oh, I got it from Canada, quote unquote, with a C. The subtitles in our version had it with the C. But I read somewhere that Canada was actually spelled with a K, which is the place in Auschwitz that they called where they put all of the nice clothing and the nice stuff that they confiscated as people were brought in.
So they're joking it's a department store.
So it's like a department store called Canada. Oh, I got it from Canada.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
We're so funny. And I got diamonds because they were in the tube of toothpaste.
Yeah.
They're sneaky. They're all
Right.
sneaky. I ordered more toothpaste from that store to get more diamonds.
Just in case, because they're so crafty.
Like
Yeah.
when she's like checking out the coat, she's like checking the lining. She says, oh, this lining needs mending. But my immediate thought was she was feeling the lining for more shit.
Well, she's probably ripping it open.
Yeah.
That was my guess.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like she was ripping it
she
open to
probably
try to
found
find something else.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably did find something because she found the lipstick in the pocket.
Yeah.
That came out right away. But Yeah, you're probably right. She found something in the lining, ripped it open, took it out. Then she asked the girl to mend it. Oh, again, fucked up. There's like a scene later, the husband is like counting money. He's sorting out the different kinds of currency like that. Oh, here's the Hungarian money, and here's the German money, and here's the Polish money. And we're going to put them in 4 different piles. And while that's happening, again, a cacophony of noise and a letter from his buddy asking the high command not to transfer him because he just loves it here at Auschwitz so much.
Yeah, and that was something that I really couldn't pay that much attention to because I was really trying to read the subtitles as to what was happening there. So the short version is, like you said, high command wants to transfer him to somewhere else, back to Berlin.
He's done such a good job. We want you to go to be in charge of everybody and whip them into shape and get them to produce at a rate that you have. We want those kind of results everywhere.
Gotta pump those numbers up.
At all the concentration camps, you're going to be in charge of all of them.
So a buddy of his is writing a letter to the high command saying, hey, I could give you a list a mile long of all of the accomplishments of this guy. Please do not transfer him because we really need him. And they don't say anything about the family. You can't show any kind of weakness in this job, I guess.
It's not about her and the kids. It's because I've worked so hard where I am. I've built this place from the ground up, and gosh darn it, I deserve this job. And no one can do it better than me.
But of course, Himmler has a different idea, so he goes to Berlin and he has this meeting where they announce, hey, guess what, guys? We got 700,000 Hungarian Jews coming into Auschwitz, and we just need to pack them all in there. Because this guy has all of these ideas on how to process all of these people at such a high rate, that's all he can think about. Did you notice when he goes to this party at the end, there's really no point of this party. He's just kind of walking around, mingling here and there, but really all he's thinking about here, how can I gas an entire room of people? I'm thinking about the logistics of what I need to do in order to distribute this so that I have the most effective method.
When he calls his wife in the middle of the night, he's so excited about the news. He's like, I wasn't really paying attention to the party because I was thinking of the logistics of that. How would I do it in this space?
And in a previous scene, we got other guys coming in there talking about the logistics of, okay, let's just have an assembly line of furnaces here. We got this one going while this one's cooling down, bring these people in. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, what am I witnessing here?
And it's all just very matter of fact. And this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to keep 25% for labor, and 20% of those will go here, and the other 5% will go here. And then we'll distribute them throughout the camps, and you'll get some and you'll get some because we've gathered all of the people in one room, and it's going to be great. And we're all going to be so excited about this operation.
And there's even a scene like a little bit after he gets told that he's going home. Right. There's 2 people kind of having a meeting right after that saying, oh, don't worry, he's not going to gas everybody. You'll have your laborers.
It's vile. It's absolutely vile. It's just the way that it's another day on the job. He gets tired and he goes home to his wife and his kids and he misses the family. And when he says he's going to leave, like we are being transferred. And she's like, fuck no, you're being transferred.
We are, yeah.
We've got it good here. We finally got out of the city. We're in the country. We got all this fresh air full of, burning human corpses. And we've got the garden and the greenhouse, and everything is so quiet and wonderful. And you should just ask the high command to let us stay. You can do what you want. I'm not fucking leaving.
He says, I've already talked to Himmler. Well, she says, well, go to Hitler then.
Yeah, just go around him. Go to his boss. Go to his boss's boss. As you do in any kind of job when you're unhappy. If you can't get results from your supervisor, you go to their supervisor.
Yeah, it's like another day in the life of this guy. Like at the beginning of it, he's going to work and he's saying goodbye to his family. Say bye-bye to daddy.
Yep, kiss on the cheek.
He gets on his horse and goes to the concentration camp. Fuck.
Yeah. And then like in a couple scenes after that, he's riding horses with his son and he's like, do you hear that? It's a Eurasian heron. Do you hear that mating call? And somehow we've got that sound is what he picks up out of all of the other sounds.
Yeah, he filters out everything else to hear that.
But he can hear a fucking bird call. When I said in the intro that this movie is completely designed around its sound, I wasn't fucking kidding.
You're right.
Every sound has nuance and every sound has importance. And as I mentioned earlier, you can't help but just sit very still. I think that is one strength of this movie, in that it requires your absolute undivided attention.
It demands your attention in a lot of different ways, not only because of the little quiet moments where you're hearing little things in the background, but you're also your eye is trained to the distance when they have these wide shots. Your eye is trained towards what is happening in the way background with all the fires and the smoke and whatever else.
You're always expecting there to be something in the background.
Right. And not only that, if you're not a German speaker, you're having to also pay attention to the subtitles to know what's going on there. But yeah, this is an audio focused movie. It's a strange thing to say. Not a lot of movies are built like this.
No, it's kind of first and foremost about the sound.
Yeah. And, of course, at the same time, there are also little vignettes of visual things as well. So when the wife is kind of hanging out in the garden and she's talking about all these different flowers and vegetables and whatever else, there's a couple of moments here where the movie just cuts over to different still images of flowers.
Yep.
And at the end of one sequence, one of them is in a red rose, and the entire screen starts filling up with all red.
While you hear someone screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it isn't subtle. It is definitely not subtle.
No. So I guess if there's anything very visual, it is that. And the heat vision camera, that's very visual as well. We already mentioned the fact that, it's all bright and shiny at the very beginning of the movie. But did you also notice that the sky starts to get a lot more cloudy as they start building more furnaces?
Yeah, it gets more greenish and sickly looking.
Yeah. Sickly is a good word.
Oh, that's how this movie's making me feel.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't really feel like we need to talk that much more about this movie, unless, did you have anything else that you really wanted to bring up here?
Obviously, we need to talk about the hard cut to present day.
Yes.
There is this weird moment where he has gotten the news, he's going to be transferred, he's going to go home. We had seen him in one scene earlier at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And then he's walking down the stairs and he stops and it's like he's going to puke. And he kind of spits and then he keeps going. And then he does it again. And then it's a hard cut to them opening the door and it's two women in modern dress who are a cleaning crew at present day Auschwitz.
At the museum.
At the museum. And we get a few minutes of the women going around vacuuming, cleaning the glass, dusting, getting ready for the day. And there's two things I kind of took away from this. One, hey, everyone, remember, this really fucking happened. And here is the case full of the shoes. And here is the case full of the suitcases and the crutches and the wheelchairs and, the real things. But also the fact that these women are doing their jobs and they are going about this in the most matter-of-fact, blasé way as the people at the beginning of the movie. I don't know if that's the intention here, but it is their job to get the museum ready. And that is, of course, where my brain goes, because that's what I've been watching this whole movie. They're just doing a job. No, the intent behind it is different. Like, obviously, one is to destroy and one is to preserve.
Yeah, and I feel like them being very meticulous and very respectful of what they are doing here is intentional.
Yeah. So I think you're right, but you see where my brain immediately goes.
Yeah.
They're so matter of fact about cleaning where they are. This is just another day to this group of people.
Yeah.
They do this every day.
So thinking about also his reaction here, just a thought I had while watching the movie. him having this like retching attack where is he like having a thought about the future? Is he thinking, I'm going down these stairs, I'm going back, but then he has a thought, what if this goes badly? What if we lose? What if this thing that I'm going back to turns into a memorial for all these people that we are murdering?
I don't think he's thinking any of that.
I don't know. Honestly, that was the thought I had at the time.
This is the hardest part of the movie for me to understand. This is the second movie in this series, if we take it all the way back to Killers of the Flower Moon, where there is a hard cut that doesn't really fit the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I think I understand this one better than the other one, but I'm still left confused because they then go back. I think that's what confused me.
And that's why I thought it wasn't at the time when we're in the future. It's when we cut back. He's having this attack, and then maybe it's in his mind that, okay, this is what the future holds for this facility. And then I snap back into reality. I don't know. I don't think that is the truth. It is the only explanation that I have.
As I keep saying, we could put this in a museum. We could sit and just absorb and watch it. And I feel like that's the intention here. And I don't dislike it. I feel disgusted by it. And I think I'm supposed to feel disgusted by it.
I would hope so.
It's incredibly well made. It's gonna stick with me. I also understand why this has been really difficult to get to us. Like the fact that this movie has not been widely available. It is every box that you could possibly imagine for why it wouldn't be playing in a small town part of the country.
Yeah.
But I hope more people see it. It's the kind of thing that forces you to think. And not everybody wants to watch a movie that makes them think.
It makes them think, and it also, again, it demands your attention. You have to pay attention. This is not a movie I think I will ever watch again because I got what I needed to out of it. Why? I mean, we can start talking about Oscars now. Why it got nominated for Best Picture, is apparent in some fashions, but then when you compare it to a lot of other movies that might have been, up for consideration, I don't know why this one made the cut.
Well, this is another one of many in a few years recently where it got nominated in both categories. It is up for International Feature Film and Best Picture. And that just speaks to the strength of the movie. The people who are voting on this, who are doing the sound people are like, fuck yeah, because they get to also vote for Best Picture. They are definitely going to put this movie up for that.
Yeah.
The cinematography people, the directing people, like there is technically a lot going on. There's so much visual storytelling.
Yeah, and speaking of technical, there was this thing that I read about this where Jonathan Glazer, the way he shot the house, the inside scenes of the house, is he set up a whole bunch of static cameras that are there's nobody behind the camera operating it. It is just a camera shooting footage at all times.
At that angle, it's not going to move.
Yeah, it's not zooming in or out. You don't know if you're in a wide shot or a tight shot as an actor. And he just let the actors just kind of go in there and act. Go about your day. And by the end of filming, they said that they had 800 hours of footage to edit together to make a movie.
That's pretty wild. And this movie is not that long.
No.
For as much footage as they have, that's pretty impressive that he was able to restrain it that tight.
And really, when you're thinking about it, this movie did not really feel like it was just under 2 hours long. It felt very quick, despite the fact that nothing really happened.
This movie felt like it was about 45 minutes long.
Yeah,
it went moving along because you're not paying attention to tons and tons of dialogue and plot. You're just watching the visuals and going along with it.
And there's not even like a 3-act structure if you want to be reductive about it. There's no real structure to the movie whatsoever. There's no arc to any of the characters.
No, and then you are introduced to another character halfway through the movie, and then she doesn't come back for a little while, and then you kind of start figuring out what her deal is, but you never really understand it.
Yeah. it's a weird kind of a thing. And yes, it is a unique thing. We haven't had a movie like this for a long time. I have no problem with it existing. I just don't know if it really merited a Best Picture nomination. I mean, I could say that about a lot of different movies, to be honest. I mean, go back to the other 3 years that we've been doing this, and there were movies in those lists as well that, you know what, this movie just kind of sucks. And I'm not saying the movie sucks. It's just, okay, you did it. Great.
I think it becomes a question of form over function. Like
Yeah.
in these instances, like how can you deny that this movie has impact? Like it does.
Yes, I get that, but there's a whole lot of other movies out there that came out last year that also have impact. So I don't know.
Well, we're not artsy fartsy Oscar voters.
We don't see a whole lot. Yeah. So I mean, besides the fact that it got nominated for Best Picture, what else did it get? I assume it got sound.
This is nominated for 5 Oscars. I'm sensing a theme. A lot of 5-timers in this group this year. Best International Feature Film, Best Sound, Best Motion Picture of the Year, Best Achievement in Directing, and Best Adapted Screenplay.
Okay, yeah.
I
don't think screenplay is really gonna go very far here.
It's an interesting pick for screenplay because I would be curious what the exact source material is.
It is based on a book.
Yeah. And I'm not familiar with the book. I don't know if it's like 25 pages, 1,000 pages.
Sure.
Like what kind of, is it a historical drama? Is it a novel? Like what is it? A biography? There's a lot of source material obviously he's drawing from.
Also, what's the deal with the name? I still, after seeing this movie, I don't understand the name of it.
Well, I said to you when you asked me that before we started, the zone of interest, it sounds like a legal term. Like
it does.
When 2 lawyers are fighting over a parcel of land on behalf of their client. Well, the zone of interest here. And what we're talking about, obviously, is the house and the garden it sits on.
The compound.
The compound next to. Because he wants to be there. This guy, the commandant, wants to be there. His wife refuses to leave there. This is home to them.
Yeah.
So that is my simple assessment of that. And also, more importantly, the feature next to it, the feature adjacent to it is the camp. And what we are supposed to take away is the importance of remembering what is next to this house, what happened there, the fact that we cut to present day and we see the remnants of the real people that went through there.
You could even say that what is happening in this house is not of interest. It is everything else happening over there that we're only teased with. It could be that too. I honestly could not give you a real answer here. I'm just really confused.
And I told you at the beginning, like you get the title card and then it's a very, very slow fade to black. And then it sits on a black screen with the sounds of, I'm not even sure what. It's like a machine or a shower or something.
By the end of it, it is just nature.
And then it turns into birds singing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, is it because things are returning to nature? Are we forgetting Auschwitz? You know, we need to remember this. It's really important that people remember this, and it's fading from memory, which is why he felt compelled to make this movie. There's a lot you could take away from it.
Yeah. And again, I think sound is very much up there for me. It is this movie.
Yeah, I think that is the award. It's theirs to lose. You know, like if they don't win, it will probably be very, very surprising.
And I can't really remember all of the other 10 movies that we've covered for this thing, which one of them might beat it out. I can't remember, but
sound is such an odd, specific category.
Yeah, because it could go to a lot of different things. It could be like the most complex thing, like war, or like a sci-fi movie,
battle scene,
or like Indiana Jones probably got nominated for sound or whatever the fuck. And this movie, it is a lot more subtle, but it's mixed in a way that you can't not notice it if you're paying attention.
And it's not the sound per se, but the last thing I wanted to bring up was when the movie ends and the credits are rolling, the song that is playing,
Yeah.
it is very off-putting and creepy. And I didn't want to keep listening to it, but also I couldn't stop listening to it.
Yeah.
It's this cacophony of like singing and dialogue.
It's like singing and screaming at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It leaves an absolute mood as you're walking out. And I'm just like, I could leave. I could stop watching this. I could stop listening, but also I can't.
Yeah. We do make a point to leave the credits rolling every single movie that we watch that's
we'll
brand new.
Stay and listen.
Yeah, unless there's absolutely nothing happening, then yeah, sure, we'll turn it off. But we tend to just keep the credits rolling, whether we're in a theater or at home.
Give the composer their due. Somebody had to write this crazy piece that is screaming and speaking and singing all at the same time. Like I said, you maybe don't listen to it if you're like on drugs.
Or maybe do.
Or
Who
maybe
knows?
do. I feel like you would have an interesting experience if you did that.
All right. Betsy, I think that's where we're going to have to end this one, at the credits. Because there's not much else to talk about with this movie.
It's that thing where you could talk all day, but
Yeah.
I would have to watch it multiple more times to talk about all the things that we're not, because I've missed them.
Let's move on to a couple of emails that we got from our superfan, Stephanie. She's been on a tirade here, watching a whole bunch of the Oscar movies that she has missed. So starting off with Past Lives. She says, my husband is out of town, so I am watching all of the Oscar movies that he doesn't want to watch.
There you go. That's how to do it.
Good timing.
You know, you got to get your husband involved. My husband also didn't want to watch all of them, and now we do a podcast about it.
She says, so you'll be getting a bunch of emails from me this week. Well, this is already a week or two old, so here you go. Past Lives was wonderful. It was so beautifully real and sweet. The idea of Inyun is such an interesting thought experiment. Yeah, and that, of course, being the idea that you have different lives, past lives, the whole name of the movie, Past Lives, and you're going to have another life, and
soulmates
if
and all that.
If you're not meant to be together in this life, maybe you can be together in the next one. Moving on, she says their young 20s segment of their relationship was so sweet and super relatable. Their breakup was so sad. Long distance is so hard, and if you can't commit to it, it is unsustainable. Yeah.
There's a reason most people won't even bother.
Yeah. I actually loved their marriage. It was comfortable and loving. Arthur is trying to learn Korean and wants to know what she's dreaming about. You could tell that when he is with Hae-sung, he was uncomfortable and jealous, but there was no fight or accusations. The discussion they had was calm and a much more realistic conversation than you would get in so many other movies of this type.
Yeah, you could have a big fight scene. You could have a dude getting territorial and being like,
Sure.
stay away from my wife.
Or like, I don't want you to go out with this guy because I don't know him and I don't trust you.
Yeah, jealousy and mistrust. That's no foundation for a relationship.
Totally. She says, there are some beautiful lines and heartbreaking lines. The writing is so wonderful, and I just loved it. Her crying at the end of the movie and Arthur comforting her was sweet and understanding. My husband and I knew each other in high school. I dated his friends. Then he joined the Navy and I went to college. We didn't talk for 5 years. The Navy brought him to Hampton, Virginia. I randomly got a job in an arena in Hampton, Virginia. I dated my college boyfriend for 3 years and broke up with him in October. He was engaged and broke up with her in early January. Mid-January, he messaged me on Facebook using, quote, what the hell are you doing in Hampton? 13 years later, we just celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary, and we have an amazing daughter.
Like I said, all the things that have to happen in your life, the
Indeed.
dominoes that have to fall for you
Yeah.
to end up where you are.
That was a really good episode we did, because we were just talking about ourselves and our own past lives and shit like that. That was a good one. You should go back and listen to
that one.
Just listen to the episode. You don't have to know anything about the movie. Just listen to the episode. She says, the other day he asked me, quote, wouldn't it be fun to go back and put our brains from right now in our high school bodies? We could have been together this whole time, but then our lives would have been so different, and I am very happy. Yeah, you think about those things sometimes, like, oh man, all these different occasions where Betsy and I could have met, or if only I could have met Betsy, years and years prior to that. But then again, you wouldn't have been the person that you were when you first met them.
And vice versa.
And yeah.
Yeah. We were different people if we had met when we know we were in the same room, but didn't know that we were in the same room together.
Sure. You needed to go through all that stuff in your life in order to be the person that you were. She says, I love that I knew you in our South Dakota phase of this current life. I hope that we remain friends and can meet again in our next life. Love you guys, from Superfan Stephanie. Thank you very much, Stephanie. That's very sweet.
Yeah, we miss her. I'm glad you email us, Stephanie.
Stephanie, we were literally talking the other day, just talking to you now, by the way.
Everyone, you can stop listening. This is a conversation for Stephanie.
Yeah, we were literally talking about you guys yesterday because we were thinking about, oh man, we need to get some people over here to play Cards Against Humanity, and you guys aren't around to play anymore.
Yeah, we need friends who want to play Cards Against Humanity.
In real life friends to come over and play cards.
All right, everyone, you can come back now. That was
all right.
That was the Stephanie portion.
That's it. All right, now we're going to read an email about Barbie.
Also from Stephanie.
Also a movie that her husband will not ever want to watch.
Well, that's just a silly opinion, but that's his choice.
All right, about Barbie. We're trying to bring the mood up here a little bit, guys. We apologize for the downer episode before.
I didn't make the movie.
Right. Guess who finally watched Barbie?
That's pretty wild, because this came in like in the last week, which means she made it all the way since July.
Right. It was pretty great. Very weird and wonderful. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, and America Ferrera were awesome. I played with Barbies for a very, very long time, like well into middle school. My mom kept a large chunk of our Barbies, and my daughter plays with them at Grandma's house. And we also have several Barbies at our own house that she loves. Dolls and Barbies are great, in particular for child development and an outlet for kids to pretend.
It's very easy for a child to see a human form in a doll and say, well, that's a human. I'm going to play like a human.
Right.
And invent elaborate scenarios for them.
I don't think we covered it in the episode. How late in your life did you play with Barbies?
Listen, I'm not really a Barbie girl.
I know you were, but you had them.
Yeah, but I barely had them. I had like one, and I wasn't that into Barbie. Like, I would pick one up and play once in a while, but I wasn't really invested. So I couldn't answer that question because I kind of didn't care that much.
Moving on, she says, I thought this was definitely a great send-up of an iconic character / toy. Very fun and also very poignant. I agree that the production design is phenomenal. I thought the ending was perfect. Overall, the movie was wonderful. Regarding Weird Barbie, we had several weird Barbies. We had a lot of Barbies whose legs just popped off. We had a ton with weird hair, though I never cut their hair. I did have a couple of Kens with their doll hair instead of the painted hair, and I did cut their hair. Yeah, I remember those Ken dolls with the actual hair that kind of squished in.
I don't, but I also never had a Ken.
You never had? Okay.
No, we only had
My cousins had a Ken with the hair.
We had a few Barbies. We did have a Butch Barbie who got a haircut.
She says, so they had weird, chunky, bald spots.
The Kens,
on the Kens, yeah. I had a thing where I would chew on their hands, so I probably had 5 or 6 Barbies with creepy, flat hands.
Okay, that one I am guilty of.
Really?
I don't know what it is. Something about that rubbery texture, if you have an oral fixation, if you are somebody who's like a nail biter or you chew on straws, there is something very comforting about just chewing on Barbie's
See, that is something I never had.
I definitely did. And I would be lying if I said I never chewed on a Barbie's hands. That's where we'll leave it.
Okay. All right. That's where we'll leave that one. But she finishes here. I definitely feel like Greta Gerwig deserved an Oscar nomination. Best Picture, Adapted Screenplay, and the Supporting Actor nominations were very much deserved as well. but I think they missed the boat on Greta. She is fantastic. Love you guys from Superfan Stephanie.
I saw an interview the other day with Greta Gerwig where even her own mom was like, I just really wish you had gotten nominated. And she's like, I did get nominated, Mom. I got nominated for screenplay.
For writing the damn movie.
And she's like, oh, that's wonderful. But I still think you should have gotten for director.
Mom needs to get off the internet.
That's the thing I think people are forgetting. Yes, she did not get nominated for director. She did get nominated. She also got nominated for 2. She would have been nominated for 3 because she got for producing, for Best Picture, and as director, and as original screenplay or adapted screenplay, I guess, in this scenario.
It is adapted. But remember last year, Sarah Polley did not get nominated for Best Director for Women Talking, but she won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay. So, hey, she could still win.
I mean, she might not. Probably
she's not going to. She's not going to.
Wouldn't it be awesome if she did?
Why not? I mean, just give one to everybody.
Let's just
participation trophy. That's what the Oscars need to turn into.
Everybody splits the vote, and Barbie comes in at the last minute to win the whole shebang.
Betsy, don't hold your breath. All right, that, my friends, is it for our Oscar series. 10 movies in, 10 movies out. 10 episodes. You can go back and listen to all of them for a refresher before Oscar Sunday, which is next Sunday. Holy shit, Betsy. We have to re-listen to a whole lot of episodes before we get into our special.
Just a few.
Just to refresh our memories of what we were feeling on the day when we watched the movie.
Way back in like August when we watched some of those.
Jesus, yeah. It was the end of August when we watched Barbenheimer.
And not that much later that we were watching Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah,
it's been quite a while.
That was October, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. So it's been a journey. This is year 4. Holy shit, we've been doing this a long time.
It's easy to forget that we started with the Oscars.
That's how we really wanted to dive right in with, the crowd favorites, Oscar movies.
The thing that everyone cared deeply about in 2021.
Every so often I do go back and listen to those episodes. And number one, I cringe at how shitty we are as podcasters back then. Well, we could probably say we're shitty now, but we're at least better.
Every day we get a little better, Trent.
It's true. Every episode we get better. But if you would like to tell us how much better we have gotten over the years, email us at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. We got all the social media stuff to follow us on there. Message us on there if you don't like email. Go to iTunes and Spotify. Make sure to rate us 5 stars. And of course, we haven't mentioned it yet. We do have a Patreon where we have a lot of extra content. If you aren't already over there, it is patreon.com/neverseenitpod. For $5 a month, we got 4 regular shows that we're bringing to you every single month as extra content, as well as some other fun things that we're throwing in there every so often.
Oh, this is easily the silliest nonsense we have done since
it's dumb.
Starting this show.
It's super dumb and it's real fun.
So if you like a lot of dumb fun, you should sign up for our Patreon. That's patreon.com/neverseenitpod.
And I'm thinking, like, every day I'm thinking of new things that I can do, but it's just making more work for me. But it's still fun.
But you also love it.
It's just
you
fun.
are a glutton for punishment.
Patreon.com/neverseenitpod. $5 a month gets you all of this content. That is where we're going to end this for now. That has been The Zone of Interest. That has been 10 Oscar movies. We will be back to you next week with our Oscar special of 2024.
We're going to rank them all. It's my least favorite day of the entire year because it's
got to do it.
I'm not good at picking my favorite children.
You can, but then you change your mind.
I every year consistently have a panic attack and move things around.
All right, we're going to let Betsy panic a little bit over there. Until next time, this has been Never Seen It. We'll be back to you next week with our Oscar special of 2024. Until then, my name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
We'll catch you then.
Bye, everyone.